Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back. So today I want to spend some time talking about how to find the next big 10x opportunity. And one of the concepts that's so important to finding these 10x opportunities is what I like to call the flywheel, or in more formal terms, this is called the positive feedback loop. So if you Google the definition of a positive feedback loop, it says a positive feedback loop occurs in nature when the product of a reaction leads to an increase in that reaction. And in simpler terms, what this means is basically if you can design a system or network where the end product or whatever you're trying to do helps you with the first stage in some way, so it helps you build more products, acquire more customers, whatever it is, if you can design a system that's in the shape of a loop, then that'll help you with getting more customers and helping the business scale. So this is how you go from like $1 billion market cap to $10 billion to $100 billion. So this is extremely powerful. And if you look at any investments that have made 5 to 10x gains in a short amount of time, chances are you'll find a flywheel somewhere. So let me give you an example to make this more concrete. So an example, Tesla. Okay, so Tesla started off as being just known as a car company, and that's like the first thing that comes to people's mind when they think of Tesla. It's just a car company, right? But if you think about it, Tesla is so much more than just a car company. So people only see the car business because that's the most consumer facing, but behind the scenes, if you do any amount of research on Tesla, you'll find that Tesla really owns the whole process of sustainable energy. So Gally from Hyperchange actually talked about this way back in 2018, and I'll link to that video somewhere. He broke it down to 3 different aspects of Tesla, which is consumption, production, and energy storage. So in short, consumption is the car business itself, right? So you're consuming electricity when you're driving around in a Tesla. Production is the solar business that Tesla has, where they're actively researching ways to make solar panels more efficient and cheaper as well. And think of the Tesla solar roof, for example, right? And storage is their battery business, which is the most crucial part to building electric vehicles. So notice how each of these components, they kind of feed into each other. And any breakthroughs in one of them will increase the speed at which this flywheel spins. So there's a flywheel effect in getting to an electric vehicle as well for the consumer. So what I mean by that is that, I've drawn a flywheel here, so excuse my drawing because I'm not the best artist, as you can probably already tell. But if you imagine getting an EV because your friend got one and they gave like a recommendation, positive recommendation, right? So just after a short amount of time, you quickly realize that there are a lot of benefits to owning an EV compared to a traditional ICE vehicle. ICE stands for internal combustion engine, by the way. First, electricity tends to be cheaper than gas. So although it depends on where you live, but that's generally true. So there's less maintenance that you have to do with an electric vehicle as well. You don't have to change oil every 3 to 4 months. It's more environmentally friendly. Again, depends on where you live and how you get that electricity. But I know at least here in Ontario, that is the case because Ontario actually gets a lot of power from nuclear and from hydro, which are generally more environmentally friendly than coal and like natural gas and things like that, right? So also we're talking about Teslas specifically. They have better performance, like 0 to 60 times compared to like an equivalent ICE vehicle of the same price generally, right? After that, you start wondering about the future potential of Tesla as well. With all that's going on in autonomous driving, what if you can turn your Tesla into an autonomous taxi and make passive income out of it, right? I know that's not a possibility right now, but it will be soon, right? It's coming. Once you get a Tesla, you experience all the benefits, and chances are you're going to give a positive recommendation as well, which leads to all your like family and friends at least considering it for their next vehicle purchase. With autonomous driving, though, the way that Tesla is doing autonomous driving is also in the shape of a flywheel. Number 1, for example, they sell a vehicle with autopilot. And number 2, they collect data from the customer when they use autopilot in a real life scenario. And this is high quality data, by the way. And third of all, the data actually helps train the autopilot software to make it better in the future, which again leads to more people buying Teslas with autopilot because they're like, this software is so good, I want to try it. And then the loop just goes around, right? So notice how each of these components actively causes the next one. So in the case of Tesla, we have flywheels within flywheels, which I know sounds really trippy, but look for it, right? You'll find that's how you find the 10x opportunities. And next example, you know what else is also a flywheel besides Tesla? Yeah, that's right, Bitcoin. So number one, people believe Bitcoin has value, so they buy it and use it as a result. Number two, more miners join the network to make money since Bitcoin now has value, and then that also secures the network and leads to decentralization and all these like good things. And number three, the fact that it is secure and decentralized attracts more participants to the network. So then that feeds into number one again. And also, if we're looking for even smaller flywheels within flywheels, like I was saying with Tesla before, if you're looking for it with Bitcoin, I've noticed that there's another like flywheel, the smaller one, that's like within effect here. And what I mean by that is that if I've noticed a trend where people are asking for their salary to be paid in Bitcoin. So if you think about it, that has the potential to push Bitcoin prices even higher. So let me explain, okay? So number one, institutions will buy Bitcoin to feed their employees because their employees are demanding to get paid in Bitcoin, which drives, number two, increased demand for Bitcoin, right? It drives the demand and it drives prices higher as a result. And number three, higher prices incentivize more people to demand to get paid in Bitcoin, which leads back to number one. So if you think about this for a second, let's say that you and your best friend work the same job and you guys make the same amount of money. But your friend decides to take his or her salary completely in Bitcoin and you don't, right? So you just take your 100% salary in fiat like normal people right now. But if prices of Bitcoin goes up, then what happens? Well, if prices go up, then they've just made a lot more money than you by doing the exact same job and working the exact same amount of hours, right? So they benefit from the price appreciation. So you might start thinking, hey, maybe like I should get paid in Bitcoin, at least part of it as well, right? So that I can like catch up. So like people are missing out on these gains, right? So multiply that by millions and millions of people in like every company in the world who's wondering the exact same thing. Obviously, most people will not opt for 100% of their salary in Bitcoin, but you don't need to go that extreme, right? You don't need to go 100%. What if every employee in the US and Canada and like Europe and whatnot demanded to take 5% of their salary in Bitcoin? Just 5%, right? So imagine the amount of stir that would cause, right? So of course, not every institution is going to offer Bitcoin as an option for their employees. But if the pressure is high enough, I can definitely see a lot of institutions just kind of bowing down to the pressure of their own employees and start offering Bitcoin as an option. So when I said Bitcoin is the next 10x opportunity, I really wasn't kidding. You see what I mean, right? So there's like flywheels within flywheels when it comes to Bitcoin, and especially designed this way, actually. So if you read the Bitcoin white paper, like you'll see that like Satoshi Nakamoto, whether it's like one person or it's like a group of people, whatever Satoshi did, like he thought about this like very clearly, and he built these flywheels into the network right from the beginning. So this is not like a coincidence that we have these like flywheels that exist within Bitcoin, right? Anyways, my point is that it doesn't have to be like Bitcoin or Tesla. If you just look for other opportunity as well, as long as you can find these flywheels, that's how you get like the 10x opportunities. So if you take away one thing from this video, remember that scams are pyramid shaped, right? So what that means is that the people at the bottom support the people at the top, and the wealth flows up the pyramid to the top. So that's how MLMs work, right? So MLMs are kind of scammy, although like a lot of them are legal, which is like absolutely shocking to me, but whatever, right? So if you see a pyramid shaped like business, then that's bad, right? That's a scam. But if you see a circular shaped business, a flywheel, then that's good. So if you can take away one thing from this video, just remember, triangle's bad, circle's good. Okay, I'm gonna leave the video here. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.